Okay, now in this video we're going to do making an artist's bio video fancy style. So let's start simple with just creating a new project in Adobe Rush. What you can do at this stage is you can just select a few images and bits of video to add into your Adobe Rush project. So I'm just going to select a few here, and you can always add some more later on. And then I'll give a quick name. Perfect. Cool. There they go, and you can see it's created a bit of a timeline. The videos, you can see, have a little bit of an extra sound track underneath, and what I'll do is I'm just going to expand that down by pressing this expand audio button here, because I can choose to delete that or turn it down or adjust the volume or whatever. And then on this side is our control tracks, and we'll play with that a little bit later, but that just makes you see what's on these different layers. If you think about in layers like Photoshop, we'll be able to have different things running at the same time. So I'm going to go back to my video that I'm working on, and I'll show you some simple editing. So when you load your images and video into Adobe Rush, it'll line them all up in a timeline here, and you can see right way down here I've got lots of little bits of images and video. I can expand them up by using this toggle bar at the bottom, which means I get to see a little bit more of everything, and then I can just scroll across and get the longer vision of these elements. So I've got a video like this here, and what I might do here is just do a really quick bit of editing on this, and I'm gonna just stretch it out a little bit so I can slide this preview bar across here, and I can then just bring it in a little bit to get just to the action part that I want. So just when I'm lifting up the paper, and then on this side I'll bring it in a little bit just so we see a little bit at the end. Let's see how that looks. Great. And that's trimmed it in. Now, in this image, there's a really weird bit here, because when I turn it over at first, it's upside down, and it's a bit of a waste of time. So I turn it over here. What I'm going to do is just make a really quick cut here. I'm going to use the split tool on the left-hand side, and I'm going to make a cut, and I'm going to let it play, and then when I get to turning it around, I might cut again and get rid of this whole middle bit where it's upside down, because it's a long chunk of video where it doesn't really show the work in a great way. So you can just press delete or backspace, or you can even do a right click and get those options there. So I'll delete that. Let's have a look now if I can go here, and then it just swaps quickly to my other one, and maybe I need to add in a bit more of that stuff that I got rid of in the, oops. So I want to add some more of that stuff at the end, because I think we go too fast away from the image. So let's play it again. I'll just scroll out a little bit again. So here we go. Here I go. I'm turning it over, and then it flips in to see the final image. Great. I'm going to give it even a little bit more time. Perfect. Great. So that's just editing a little bit out of there. What I might also do here is, so that it's not a really drastic, harsh cut, is I'm going to add a transition up here. So it's a transition effect. For this one, because I want it to be a little bit seamless, I'm going to choose a dissolve effect. So it's just going to fade from one to the other. But I could choose other ones that it would be like a fade, from black into the image, or fade from white, or do like a Star Wars, swipe left kind of one. I'll show you what that looks like. We're swiping from one image to the next, but look, I prefer for this, whoops, I prefer the dissolve there. and the one there, I'm going to get rid of that one. So let's have a look at what that dissolve looks like here. Great, that's a little more seamless. Wonderful. Okay, so that's a really simple look at just trimming a clip down and doing a little bit of a dissolve. Now, the other thing that I like to do is just get rid of lots of blather and be able to trim these clips really nicely. So I'm going to expand my audio out, because you'll see at the start of when I'm doing this, I'll often do a clap, and that just helps me see these real high spikes in the audio so that I know where to go to when I actually start talking. You can see I had a false start here and had to do it again, so I did another clap in a couple of seconds, and we'll see that, and I think that's probably the best part for me to go from. Hi. There we go, and that's where I start my talking, so I know that just after that spike down here, I can do a trim, get rid of this stuff, and I'm going to press delete again. Wonderful. Okay, so there I have trimmed that down. If there are parts that I want to get rid of in the middle, I can also... So let's use Adobe Rush so that I can still talk to you about my ideas and what I do, but overlay some interesting images. I can trim parts out that I don't want. So if I'm going on a bit boring here, I can decide to cut there and just take out a whole section until it starts getting interesting down here. I'm going to cut that, and then I can delete that section. I could do a dissolve, or I could fade to another image in between as a bit of a break. But I'm going to undo those. And now let's see, we've got a little bit of cut footage here where it goes from one to the next. Making that stuff and doing what I do. Let's do it. My name's Bernie. Okay, and that's where I start on my artist statement. What I could do in there is actually bring in one of my images. So I'm going to grab a little bit of this video here, and I'm just going to place it in between here. I could use a still image as well, but I can really just rearrange there. I'm just dragging and dropping from this part. What I do. Let's do it. Into this part. Cool. And then I can trim that down again if that's all I want. I will then delete that, and then it goes straight into me talking. My name's Bernie Slater, and I'm a visual artist from Canberra, Australia. Okay, cool. The other thing that happened here is our sock footage is actually quite loud. You can hear some real hum there. So I can do a few things here. I can expand the audio. Oops. I can separate the audio, so I don't want to do here. So, separate the audio, and I can just delete that so that it's just not connected to that piece of video anymore. Or on the right hand side, I could go to my audio, adjust the volume. I could turn it down. If it was just some birds in the background, I could just turn it down a little bit and it might be nice. I could mute it, and you could just tell it what it is listening for, if it's voice or if it's music, and then Rush will try to optimize the volume levels for it. Later on, you can go through, select all your audio and try to match it to the same level, but we'll leave that for down the track. For now, I'm just going to get rid of that piece of audio there. Great. Okay, so try playing around with just a bit of splicing using the scissor tool, rearranging things, and cutting out any bits that you think you might not need. Great.